little bit more with the champions that they're going to go into the games with. And CLX going in with LeBlanc and Lee Sin both getting banned out on their first rotation, and FDG deciding to get rid of Oriana and Galio. Finally, for their last ban for Phase 1, Elise. Now this is interesting to see, to say the least, because a lot of these early game junglers have been taken out, and now with the meta being more support orientated, we'll see how they'll devise their plan and set up their teams for CLX.
I really like the bans coming in from Climax over here, as they take out a lot of burst damage as well as the early game pressure right there. And once LeBlanc hits level 6, he could just roam around and probably burst someone either side of the lanes of top lane and bot lane. And now we do see the Zac being taken out from the 5 Dragoons.
As you were saying about LeBlanc earlier, her level 6 mobility is really very strong, and nobody really gives enough respect to that. And Zac, definitely regular ban, high gank potential, very strong. CLX insta-locking Gargus. We're not sure whether he's top or jungle, but I'm pretty sure Oni and Shurik are very comfortable on this champion, as we've seen in the past few weeks. FDG responding with the Zyra-Ashe combo. We've been seeing this these combos happening a lot, especially for FDG. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a really dominant bot lane combination coming in for Ashe and Zyra over here, and it's really gonna be difficult now that Trash locks in, and you can just spawn a plan to actually block all these hooks coming in from Trash.
Yeah.
But of course, they have to be very careful of hooks as well. If you can't always rely on the plans from Zyra all the time. So when we come in, oh, this is really interesting. You can see JLKC hovering over the Yasuo. Will we be able to see another Yasuo?
Don't fall for the trolls. It's all trolls. It's all trolls. But we noticed that FDG and CLX are actually very comfortable on these utility type ADC champions. We aren't seeing these hyper carry sort of team compositions yet. They've tried. Both sides have actually tried it, and usually they're not too successful. They're really strong at sieging and also split push compositions, because we saw Oni on his Renekton completely destroying certain team hyper carry compositions once he lands on their ADC. So FDG finally locking Kha'Zix. Now, I was talking about early game junglers here, and Kha'Zix is actually really strong. What do you think they're going to round out their teams with the picks and bans later on?
Later on into the picks and bans, well, we do still have the mid lanes open up, as well as probably the top lane. We're not too sure whether if the pickup of Gragas would still go into the jungle or the top lane. It's a really good pick taking up Gragas from the side of Climax. And now, probably they may need to focus onto JLKC here as they take out Talia and Kennen on the top lane.
And now FDG have a lot of options here. Syndra, Talia, and Kennen have been taken out of the picture, so they don't have an extremely one-shot orientated peel sort of mid laner. So they go, oh, JLKC's favorite pocket pick. Well, not really even pocket pick. He's just really good on Vladimir overall.
I really love his performances so far throughout the weeks here. JLKC and Vladimir. How could they actually let it slip through the hands of JLKC this time around? But of course, probably they have a plan up their sleeves as they pick up the Kassadin. Really good pick coming in, though.
Yeah, it's true, but I really think that they're a little confident that they can deal with JLKC's Vladimir, but we know that he does a very good job. We've seen Karina play Vladimir, and he gets completely stomped towards the late game, but once they've itemized. But JLKC, he plays his Vladimir sort of different, and he gets the AoE most effectively in team fights. But now, CLX has not finished rounding out their team composition. I think Shen is really good here. It really makes the team effective, because now they have a disengage with Gargus. They have a top laner that gives major shields to key targets. So Kassadin can actually go into the team, pick off one person, or even peel as much as he can and get back out. So I think this is really good on the side of CLX.
And right now, probably they're going to pick up this Kled right here, which will be really important coming into team fights. And yes, they do. Look at the pick comms coming in from the side of Dragoons. You can have the Kha'Zix. I mean, the charge coming in from Kled will just bring Vlad and co into the fight. Of course, sending in the arrow. Someone's just gonna drop right there. So I'm really excited coming in. And we have the Shen picked up over on the side of Climax. We can see the idea of Climax protecting the carries, and of course making sure that Gelato could deliver Shen into the fight. That will be really, really important.
Yeah, and the side of it, on the side of FDG, they could have taken their team composition any way they want. They could have added a little bit more siege potential. They could have added a little bit more team fight and skirmishing. With their first 3 picks, they had a very solid composition already. It's just how they want to fill up the gaps and now change their play style based on the last 2 picks. And with Vladimir and also Kha'Zix, it's going to be very interesting because the mid game they're able to pick people off really, really well. I think, especially with Kassadin being so mobile. His level 6 is okay unless he gets really far ahead, but usually by level 16, that's his strongest point of time, because at level 6 his rift walk is so short. He can dash around, pretty much just teleport all around the map, blinking and killing people however he likes, and he has the itemization to deal with a team composition like this. So I'm interested to see how FDG push the game forward, because they don't want to get to level 16.
Yes, I do agree. And speaking of Kassadin has been pretty strong coming into the recent patches lately. As you can see in the Korean solo queue, if you do notice, all of these metas, he's been always around the top 5 for the mid lane. And it's no surprise with him being picked up right here, as you can consistently put pressure onto Vladimir. As much as he does get the heal, he will get back a charge, soaking in some magic damage, and he just keeps repeating again and again. This will actually bring a Vladimir low. But with JLKC on Vladimir, as you explained earlier on, he is really great at starting team fights. And I myself, being a Vladimir player, I really respect the way he pulls it out. Like, he goes all in, puts his flash right there, pops his ulti, goes 5-man, just go crazy. So happy.
And overall, Vladimir's a good pick. Let's actually talk about the top lane pick, because Shen into Kled is a very interesting matchup, because it does favor Shen for the first couple of levels. Because whenever Kled actually wants to go in, Shen can just activate his Q, activate his little shield, and he will block the amount of passive damage, percentage health damage that Kled brings once he hits level 2 and 3. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that match plays up, because Shen's probably not going to die most of the time.
Yes, I do agree, but Kled, there's always the Skull and Mount over there, so he can always turn fights around, as we see from day 2. And we are now going into the first game of the day, Team Climax versus Fire Dragoons.
Now, both teams starting out with the regular fan outs, and they're just trying to not let themselves be caught by these stupid, really frustrating level 1 cheeses. So now with that out of the way, they're going straight into the laning phase. Let's look at the starting items here. Kassadin opts to go for the Corrupting Potion to add that sustain, while Vladimir goes for the Dark Seal refillables. So it's interesting to see Vladimir is going to get his money back every time he goes back into base, because he doesn't need to spend money on these potions. And we can see the matchup going along here. Gelato taking slightly bad trades, but not as bad as it could, because JLKC can heal. So it's good because Gelato can get a shield off of his Q, and he can sustain with the Corrupting Potions.
Ooh, you can see JLKC using Vladimir at his maximum potential right here. He's putting so much pressure and damage each time he gets the Empowered Q. And as you mentioned, a lot of skirmishes happen in the top lane, and Oni putting a lot of pressure onto Neko's side as well. As Shen does have a slight advantage earlier on, but once FDG Neko, probably when he gets a few items up, that's where he gets to duel really well with the Shen.
Yeah, and I really agree here, because Shen overall, he's pretty unkillable level 1 to 3 unless he makes a mistake and gets by himself, and Kha'Zix just destroys him. And now, with these early games, Zera is trying to take out Shriek. Now, Shriek has good sustain in the jungle with Gargus with his passive, and that's really good because that allows him to deal with a lot of the issues that Zera will pose. For an example, he's got very good early game clears.
Zera gets the smite onto it. Did he actually get it? And right now, he's putting a lot of pressure onto Shriek's jungle right here, as the bot lane will probably meet, as now they do converge. Right now, Shriek's getting really low. He's forced to flash out, and Zera continues to steal the Crux away from him.
This is actually really well played by FDG. They actually decided to bring in their support and their ADC coming. Oh,
Oh,
FDG
there's
coming
more
in.
action coming in the mid lane, and Ignite's being popped out. Zed does get the catch onto the Kassadin right there. He did not notice what's going on in the bot lane, and Kha'Zix is still hanging around the jungle. It's too dangerous for him to actually pull out such risky moves, and now his summoners are burned. He's not that mobile pre-6. He's going to be in trouble for some time.
Yeah, Zera's going to be a overlaying factor that's going to be super annoying to deal with because he brings so much damage early on.
Wager landing a beautiful hook right there, and Flay as Zero gets the Ignite drop into him, and he did not pick up the Lantern right there, and now they're going to disengage. Wager flashes out, spotting out the Rengar.
See, now this is why I was telling you about Zera, because the moment he comes in, CLX know that this is going to be bad. Zero and Wager immediately make their way out, and Wager knows his position is a little off, so he opts to flash out. So technically, he could have waited a little longer in case, because he knew that Zera's flash was pretty much down. So he could, when he saw Zera jump, he could have just flashed immediately then. But it's better not to take the risk in case you don't react in time. So I think that was really good, well played by CLX. But FDG just gained the upper hand very, very slowly. And I think this is the start that they want. They put the jungler behind, he can't really do much, and Zera is this overshadowing presence to this bot lane who is already so oppressive.
Not only in the bot lane as well, and you can see he got the kill in the mid lane, getting the kill on the Kha'Zix. As for his blood, he could actually snowball from here, and they really have to play it really carefully. Bot lane's out of sums, mid lane's out of sums. Probably the next visit onto Oni, he could just roam anywhere as he likes when he hits level 6.
That's very, very true. I highly agree there. Now, Vladimir has the start that he kind of wanted. You see that he picks up 2 tomes there, and he's already got his money back with the refillable potions. He doesn't need to go back and waste 100 gold buying 2 pots. So it's really good to start off with the Dark Seal and a refillable, because you will get your money back on top of having the additional heal from the Dark Seal and AP.
In terms of scaling wise, of course, Kassadin's gonna be a little bit slow. I mean, both of the mid laners are a slow starter, but coming into the late game, that's where things get explosive. So I'm hoping to see Gelato probably slowly pushes this wave out to try to roam instead. And now Zera invading the jungle once again, but he does spot out Shriek going to the Crux. Will he be able to steal it away this time?
No, probably not. He's in a position where their bot lane actually has enough levels. If he gets caught, he's pretty much dead. So Zera's just playing it safe. He doesn't want to have to deal with losing his lead, dying to their bot lane in case that they rotate up. But it's very good that FDG's Ribena and Hoki are pushing in as much as they can.
Looks like mid lane's gonna have some action though. Looks like Zera's trying to get some Raptors away from his camps, further denying Shriek's experience.
Yeah, now they're pinging him out. They know that he's there. He's going to get pincered here, but he should be safe. Oh, level 6 getting hit by Gelato. But luckily, he doesn't have the mana to follow up, and JLKC is there to punish as much as he can. So now that the wave is pushed up, he can actually decide to roam at this point in the time, or even go back to base. But considering how he's only farmed so little, he might want to stay around a little bit longer, push out the wave, because he knows Kassadin might go back or pick up blue, as we can see here.
Yes, I do agree, and his ghost is still up. He could actually roam down, but right now they just based, and they're just in the passive mode, so they're not really extending. There's no point for him to roam right now.
Yeah.
As you can see from the map, I believe that both supports need to place out more vision as the dragon has been spawned. Probably they may want to take the first dragon, and I do know that a lot of people say Cloud Drake is not that important, but extra mobility coming in for Kha'Zix and Kled on the side of Fire Dragoons, it's really, really powerful. You cannot ignore the strengths. A little advantage is still great coming for any side.
I mean, that's true, but I'm always on the fact that Cloud Drake is pretty much useless unless you get 2 to 3 stacks. Like, the first stack is kind of like, okay, let's see whether we can, like, force the enemy team to make a mistake.
Well, you never know until you get a dragon, right? So what's coming next is just like a box of chocolates.
That's true. So now, on the side of FDG, how they're going to play this, they're going to be putting wards deep into the... Well, towards the early edges of their jungle, of the enemy jungler. jungle, not jungler, so that Kha'Zix can go in safely and get out, because then at least he has the vision to know which exit he can take out, and he can safely make his way out of their jungle in case anything bad happens.
Looks like there's more action on the top lane. Neko getting some damage done, and probably Skull may just pop out if he gets some damage. And there we have it. He will try to get the mount back. Oni falls really, really low right here. He has to be... Oh, looks like he's going in with the mount, and Neko gets a kill onto Shen's Oni.
Now this is what I wanted to see. Neko is so aggressive, and I think on Kled, it's like it really suits his playstyle. Personally, I think it suits his playstyle, but he can definitely play a lot of other top lane champions, and they're immediately going to pick up an early Cloud Drake here. Every bonus is going to help, every snowball. Oh,
looks like there's a fight breaking down at the bot lane right here as TP's channeled out. The red team gets the dragon, and they're going in for the kill onto Shriek, and then more members were falling really low. Zero goes down to JLKC as well as Waygor, and the fight is not over yet. Gelato goes in for the kill onto Zer, and now he's falling really, really low right now under the tower. JLKC gets right another kill onto him. He's looking to drop him right here, only shredding his health to bits, but he does have the safety of his tower.
And 2 for 2, I think.
That's more than 2 for 2, right?
3 for 2. 3 for 2, if I saw correctly. I got so distracted by that towards the end, how JLKC actually took out Kassadin under his tower. So JLKC really knows how to gauge the damage with his champion, so he knows what he can and cannot do. After the blood pool, had he not killed Kassadin in the blood transfusion, he probably would have just backed off anyway and burnt as many summoners as possible to get out of the way, because Shen plus Kassadin's poking Q would have killed him if he stayed any longer. So very well played by FDG. Very good responses and rotations by both Oni and Neko. But Neko, ooh, he's starting to push ahead. He's got 3 assists on top of that 1 kill, putting him slightly ahead. We can see in the gold difference that he's 400 gold ahead. That probably will be an extra long sword. We'll see how that eventually snowballs to a bigger lead. And Shen needs to show his global presence here. TP is down. His Stand United is also down. So right now he's in a position where he can't help his team, but once it goes off cooldown, they might need to look for a play to pick off Kha'Zix or pick off their mid laner sooner or later.
Yes, and they have to find a way to actually stop JLKC right here. As you can see on the Dark Seal, there is already 7 stacks right there. And if they don't do anything about it, of course, he's just gonna have this ability, more extra ability power coming in. And now he does finishes the Hackstack Protobell as mid lane falls really, really low right there. Now Gelato goes back into his tower, dishing out some damages onto JLKC.
Yeah, and JLKC is playing this really well. He's just being super oppressive. He doesn't mind taking a couple of tower shots because he knows he can heal it up. But more importantly, he knows that Gelato can't kill him. Especially with the Protobell, the extra spell vamp and the Protobell active allows him to deal so much more damage than Gelato can push out. So in his favor, it's hard to see. Down at bot lane, we're gonna see a bit of a fight here as they might decide to dive both Waygor and Zero.
Right now, they do not have any vision on the side of Climax right here, as a vision ward is placed right there. So the ward is being denied. They do not know when are they coming in. But JLKC's going on to Shriek, and they get stunned up right there. But the casket does miss, and right now Shriek's falling really low. The first one to go down, and double kill goes on to the Vladimir once again.
Wow.
And this time around, they're probably going to secure the first tower going onto the side of FDG.
And very, very clean plays here by FDG. They played really well there. It's interesting to see that he proto-belted inside the blood pool, which was very fun to watch because he dealt damage without taking any damage back, which is very interesting. It's a new mechanical thing for me to see that happen. But on the side of FDG picking up first tower, we're probably going to see Zyra and Ashe, Rabina and Hoki rotate to the top side, switching over with Neko so Neko can push out some more. Zer really boosting his team at this point, and JLKC showing his dominance over Vladimir. It's really starting to be a big problem. Let's actually have a look at the replay here and break down the fight bit by bit.
Oh, looks like it's on the smaller scale over there, and you can see Vladimir popping out the Hemo play and making them really, really low. And Zer is just applying the damage from the back with Ribena and Zer coming in. The ulti from the Zyra dishes a lot of damage as well. This is why they have to be really careful right there on the bottom lane. They've been put really, really behind right here as both the ADC and the support of Team Climax has dropped 2 deaths over here. And it's not looking good for the side of Climax so far.
It kind of isn't, but this is kind of, well, they will scale later into the game. They will definitely scale. So they just got to slow the snowball as much as they can. They're probably going to lose mid-tier 1. It's super low. They just need their 80, either their 80 or just someone just push out the lane and just take the tower and head back out. But mainly Zyra is the big issue here because she has so much zoning capabilities with her kit, which is extremely annoying because not only the snares and the plants deal a lot of damage, but her ultimate with AP items like Leandre's can start putting a lot of damage in.
Gelato soaking in a lot of damage coming in from Ribena's Ashe right here. And right now, Flash coming in from Zero, lands the snare onto Ribena right there, and he gets dropped down by Gelato. Beautiful team play right there coming in from Team Climax.
And a very good response by CLX. They knew that mid tower was going to go down, so they had their team members moving down to counter-rotate FDG's Hoki and Ribena's push to get mid-tier 1. And because of that, the Flash Chains of Corruption from Zero lands onto Ashe, getting a pretty much a free kill from there. But most importantly, Kassadin didn't die because of only Stan United. And this is the kind of plays that I was talking about. Stan United, with its global presence, brings so much to the table.
It's a very, very risky play coming in from Zero. Of course, securing that kill was really important to slowly get small leads coming back into the game. But they are still put with about 5k deficit right here. So to come back to the game, I'm probably thinking that they need to secure more objectives right here. As you can see, all the towers are still intact for the side of Fire Dragoons. So they have to rotate well, push it well enough, and of course secure Dragon. And Rift Herald is being taken here by Zer. Will he be able to take it by himself right here? Pretty cheeky move, as there is the Scuttle Crab with the vision.
And now most people think that you need at least 2 people to deal with Rift Herald, but no, that's not the case. You can pretty much dodge most of its auto attacks, and then with its big swing, you can just run right through it to get to its back. And now picking up Rift Herald they're gonna try and see how much they can push the game into their favor. With a 6k gold deficit now, if it goes to 10k, it's pretty much over because FDG will have all the advantages they need to take Baron and close out the game. That's what we're probably going to see here unless CLX makes a big mistake. But CLX is actually doing a good job with the counter rotations. Right now, they can't get picked off because every death is going to add to that gold deficit to bring it to that breaking point.
I want to talk a little bit on Hoki's support right here, Zyra. And with 6 kill participation, my bad. Alright, so he's having really clean plays right here, and right now Hoki, he's playing really well this game. I really like the fact that the Zyra picked up so earlier on, and they did pick up the trash to follow up with that.
Yeah,
so,
and I don't know how to explain this, but Zyra is the most frustrating bot lane matchup to deal with, especially because she's so oppressive. You kind of feel powerless to this. They're gonna pick up another Cloud Drake here with not much contention, unless.
And will Climax actually respond to this, or will this be another free dragon going on the side of FDG? And Shriek goes in with the explosive cast, but he does get to exit with the lantern coming in from trash.
That was actually really mechanically the theory was there. He wanted to go in, throw the explosive cloud, push them out so that he couldn't be able to smite it. So he would body slam, throw the cast, that smite, get out with Thresh's lantern, which was really, really smart. But it was turn out too well.
Effort right there, and you can see Neko's getting into trouble as he spots out Zero over there. So he does charge out from the fray, and now the Rift Herald is being popped onto the bot lane tier 2, and it will go down as they apply more pressure into the inhibitor turrets.
And this shows the versatility of the Rift Herald. You can use it to just have a big artillery cannon to knock down towers, but also as a very strong split pushing mechanic. So after going bot, they're just going to leave it there because they know it's going to die. So FDG just take tier 2. for their mid lane, and hopefully they don't get picked off here. But CLX really need to slow down this snowball. They can't really do much at this point of the game, and it's slowly becoming into FDG's favor. It looks like they're going to close out this game if they collect the Baron at 1 minute 20.
All the FDG has to do right now is not to screw up team fights right here. And of course, it does take time for Climax team competition to come online. Zero has to get his items. So does Oni and Gelato to get tankier, to actually be more bursty for the side of Kassadin. And probably they need to contest all these objectives in the map. There's just no presence of Team Climax in most of these scenarios right here. And as I said earlier on, we do get 2 Cloud Drakes in this game, and this will be really vital for JLKC coming in and out of fights. Ghost, what are you gonna do about it? He's just gonna go in, pops the Hamo play into team fights, just charges in with Kled and the rest. And that could be really, really troublesome to deal with.
I guess, but I think the main idea here, because there's no real way for CLX to get back into this unless they play really mechanically sound. They need to get every fight, they need to get at least 1 pick without losing any of their champions in return. So I think Shriek really needs to land his explosive casket very well to get that pick, and hopefully they can later on in the game, because there's pretty much nothing we can do. We can look at the items down at the bottom here. Ash already has her Bork and Runan's Hurricane, giving her a lot of damage.
Like Shriek's going into the Baron Pit right here, and he tries to charge into Hoki right there, but he gets blocked out. Enchanted Crystal Arrow misses, and right now JLKC gets a kill from the back right there, and now the fight breaks down even further, and Shriek gets the exit, but Gelato dropping really low to Zair, and Ribina's in trouble by himself right there, and Shriek flashes out, but Ribina slowly shredding out the members of Team Climax right there, and it's gonna be an ace for Fire Dragoons, and this is gonna be Baron for free.
Yeah, and CLX played really, really well there. They had the right idea, but the problem was the execution wasn't there as well. They zoned out JLKC, they got the kill, but the problem was when they saw the TP, they didn't respond to it as fast as they should have. It was pretty much a gone fight the moment there was only 2 people left, and Ash managed to get into the fray. There was almost no way unless every single hook from Wago landed, which it did, but even so, Bork is just such a strong item, peeling away at your life total every single time you get it's on.
And let's talk a little bit more on the team fight that broke down earlier on, like Shriek going on to Hoki, and he does have all of his spells up. It's not worth it to actually charge him first, and they were not really attempting Baron right there before all that happened, so it's not actually worth it to start the engage. And Zyra could just disengage with his ulti. That's about it. So a little bit of misplay coming in from Team Climax over there.
I mean, it's hard to say that it didn't work out for the first part, because they did pick up the kill with nothing in return, but eventually the rest of their team just got mowed down as JLKC eventually just knocks out Shen, and the rest of the team just get picked off 1 by 1. They can't take these fights where everybody is too close together because JLKC's AoE damage is too strong, but yet they cannot take small skirmishes with certain champions because they too. Like, for an example, Neko. If Neko's in any of these 2v2 fights, they're probably going to win it.
And right now, you can see they're shoving up mid lane and bot lane as well, and now they're putting even more focus on the bot lane as it's dropped below 50% right there, and Neko's leading the charge right there. Hoki popping out the ulti, and now Neko charges in, Shriek dropping really low from Ribina, and he does get killed out, and Oni's the next one to go down. JLKC is legendary over there, and the turret goes down. Probably they will seal game 1 for Fire Dragoons.
Yep, and Fire Dragoons played a very, very clean game here. Very standard play with the team composition, but they executed it very, very well. There's nothing much I can really say about this because, as you've seen, it's 5-18. The goal deficit is more than 15k at this point. This was pretty much an easy victory for FDG with their lead, but they pushed it to the point, till the breaking point, because CLX couldn't come back from it. There was a certain point in the game where it was pretty certain